and welcome everybody to dccodinggames.com. And this is Planet Coaster 2, and we're going to be teaching you how to do sequences. So, the first step is that we need to know what a sequence is. So, I've just got this little person here that goes onto this ride to show you. And she goes on, and then basically, when she goes down, she has jets going up and then another jet sequence, and then a splash at the end. Now, wouldn't it be cool if you guys could do that? So that's what we're going to do. So I thought actually it would be a good idea to actually just show you from scratch how you do that on a different ride. And what we want to do is we want to go to our special effects on our scenery. Now, if you don't see it and you go to special effects, that means because you're in the blueprint section. So you want to go to create custom. And then what you want to do is go to the effects here on the left hand corner, click here, and then you have this whole range of effects you can do. Now, if you really want to search something really quickly, you can just say smoke, it'll come up. But what we want is something like a splash or something. Just came up there. Yeah, so we want maybe a small one, and what I want is maybe it to be placed here. So you want it just below your scenery so you don't really see it, and also you don't want it too far down because then you won't get anything. So now we have that set up. Now what we want to do is click the roller coaster. We want to go to customize. We want to create sequencer. We want to then place a new sequencer. This one was my old one. So I'll just call this splash. Then you want to then add the objects. You want to select them all and say confirm selection. It will highlight them for you when you say add objects, so it makes it easier for you. And then you can set how long it plays for, but because it's just one splash, we don't want it to continually play it. So 2 seconds is fine. I want to play on the trigger. You can have activate on trigger, so turn on indefinitely when triggered, or deactivate it, or so that might be already going, and then when they go by it stops, or repeat toggle on trigger. um, that just repeats over a duration of times over a duration, so you can have it for 10 seconds, it just keeps going, or you can change the color or swap the color, etc. Don't know if that just works with maybe just lights and stuff. So for this one, we don't need to change color, we don't need to do anything. All we want to do is we want it to happen when they go down the slide, and you want to have a distance maybe about, I'd say about that much distance is good. You can always test it. So then when you've done that, so that means that these will go off when played, which we can check on customize, create sequence, edit your splash. You can check that they will be played on trigger. And you can also, if you wanted to, zoom in or zoom out, etc. Before I go into the second part of this, I also wanted to clarify that when you're actually going to these things, you can actually have them so that they start at different times, so you can move this. So if you wanted the first one to start at a different time, you can. That's not a problem. So this is our second part I'm going to show you. And our second part is to do with the event sequencer. Now, it's a bit tricky, this one, but it acts the same thing. So what I have it is that I have it on these 2 speakers. Now, it's not triggered by the coaster. It's actually triggered when either we go into it and we say play trigger, or you can just set it like that manually, or you can activate it by going to activation and activate it on a time it actually activates. That's quite a good one to do. If you want, for instance, maybe you want some lights at nighttime only, so you can trigger that. But I think they come on anyway automatically at night, so you don't need to do that. But you know what I mean. Maybe you want it in a certain area of the park, the lights come on at a certain time, or just the music in a certain area, and you can select a group of speakers or group here and do that. So that's quite cool. Now, how do you get it to play? Well, what you have to do is you would have to go into the event sequencer, edit sequencer, and do this exactly the same thing. Add objects, select them, and then you'd have play for so long. Now, I have it as 500 seconds because it's music, and I wanted to keep going, and I have it play on trigger. So now when I play it, and I've selected the music I want, it's playing the music. And I have it on continuous. Now, if I said I wanted on looping and on trigger, it'll basically do the same thing, but do it hourly. Now, one thing you need to remember is that don't forget that I have it on 500 seconds. If I changed that and I said 10, or let's say 2 seconds again, it's going to do something odd. You see, it plays the music, but it stops. And welcome to the third part. So on the third part, if I go to this slide, I have a sequence here to change the light color for these lights. Now, if I go to edit mode and you click on them, you can see that I've got a start time and then the fade time of the color light. Now, if I go out of this, you can see there's no lights that went on. So what's just happened? Why did that happen? Well, it happened because you haven't actually turned the lights on. So even though with lights, when you actually go and change the color, etc., you actually need a new trigger to say, let's say, call it lights on. And what this will do, so we add the objects, we add these 3, and we go to them and we want to play on trigger for 2 seconds, yeah, or we can make it for let's say so then when the other one I had it fading for 2 seconds, so you'll notice that actually we might see it go white eventually. So that's how you can change colors and etc. But the lights on is basically the triggering point of turning them on. Otherwise, you won't see anything if you don't turn them on, which is important. So I've got them together because we basically want to do them all together, and it's already going down. So let's just catch on to here and we play it. And you can see that the lights were there. And that's it, folks. So if you can like and subscribe, that would be great. It really helps out my channel. And I've actually been making a weather system in Unreal, for example, for myself for game development. Now, you might just want to be playing games, which is fine. But some of you might think, oh, it might be a bit better to get into that sort of area of game development. And my asset will really, really help you guys if you ever want to purchase something to help you through your game development. It is a very, very good tool, I think. Unreal itself, and also my asset, I believe. So please support me, and I'll see you on the next one.